Hello everyone, welcome once again to the vast and ominous comic book vault. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Tori GNR1.
I'm here with Dan, Tori GNR1. We're going to talk today about the Venom Circle of 4 event that just ended. And Dan, how are you doing today, buddy?
Doing alright, I suppose.
Oh yeah? Why do you say that?
Well, I broke my leg today.
What? You broke your leg?
I did.
I'm kidding. I already knew about that. We talked about this beforehand, but I can't fake that. You broke your leg today.
I did.
And we're talking. How are you even? I almost said, how are you even talking? You didn't like break your jaw or anything. But really, how are you here doing this with me when you just broke your leg today?
Lots of opiates. I don't know. They gave me a lot of painkillers, so I can't really feel anything like down there. So it's fine now. I hope it doesn't wear off.
Wow. Did it? I know this is a stupid question, but did it hurt?
Yeah, I'd actually never broken a bone before, so I was kind of surprised. Like how
wow.
It was just weird.
I was gonna ask you. Oof, it sounds terrible, man.
Yeah, it was a ordeal, but I made it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're okay, dude.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
thanks for the commitment of coming in and doing this anyway.
Oh, no problem. I would have felt bad if I let you down because I canceled on you the first time we were supposed to meet, so I was like, no, I have to make this.
That's commitment, dude. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I am okay, too.
Well, let's go ahead and review this Venom arc. For those of you who don't know anything about this thing, and what do you think, Dan? Maybe kind of non-spoilers on this one, or...
Yeah, when did it finish? Last week?
Yeah, it kind of just got done.
Yeah, so if it hasn't even been released in trade, I think we should stay away from spoilers on this one, like major ones, I suppose.
So we won't give away exactly how it ends and that sort of thing, but it starts in Venom number 13. And then they did the strange thing that I think we'll talk about a little bit, where they did the rest of it up until 14 in points. So they did point 1, point 2, point 3, and then they did 14. So if you were buying Venom, I think most stores probably would have just put this in your pull list every week as it was coming out. But it's, except for 13 and 14, it's really not still the Venom book in between.
No, not at all.
How'd you feel about that?
I don't know. I really wish Remender had written the whole thing, because you can tell there's like stuff that places he wants to go with some of the ideas that are introduced here, but like the other writers just don't really know. They don't really know what to do with them. Like the whole antithesis thing, like I think Remender plotted this whole thing and then he needed help because, of his schedule. So, they brought in the people that wrote the Ghost Rider book and the Hulk book. I'm surprised they didn't bring in the lady that was doing X-23. But
me too. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, it was just kind of slow to me, like because there was just cool ideas, like concepts and stuff that I really would have liked to see played out, but there was never anything done with them. Like I said, the antithesis thing, and there's a thing at the end where it has a parallel between the main villain and his relationship with his fatherly figure and Flash's relationship with his dad. And I thought that was really cool, but it was just kind of like at the end, and it was never like, in the whole story. It was just kind of like, look, this is the theme we're doing. I don't know, it just wasn't consistent. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess.
I agree with you. I'll throw out a really brief synopsis real quick for people who didn't read this and were keeping up with it, so that everybody knows what you meant by the antithesis thing. But basically the deal is, the Lady Ghost Rider accidentally opens up a part of hell in the middle of Las Vegas, of all places. And naturally, of course, it's going to be Las Vegas, right? The city of sin.
Yeah.
And so basically, Blackheart's got this whole plan to try to bring part of hell on Earth, and Ghost Rider is the last element he needs to make that happen. So we get this bit of hell in Las Vegas, and then you have these superheroes they're mostly anti-heroes, and I think that's why they put these ones together. Besides the fact that 2 of their books are getting canceled, they happen to all be there, and then Blackheart's whole plan to stop them is to bring out from this pit of hell they're kind of negatives, they're opposites. And so I found some of them kind of interesting, especially the giant brain thing that Red Hulk got.
Yeah, I was that one and the X-23 one were the ones.
The X-666.
Yeah, those were the ones that I noticed right away as like what they were supposed to be, but like the one for Ghost Rider looks sort of like Venom, so originally I thought that was Venom's, and then she started fighting that one. I was like, oh, I guess he's the other one.
That threw me too, and I kept having to remind myself why that looked like Venom, because every time it popped back up, I kept forgetting what it was. Mm-hmm. And weren't there like a bunch of them? Like, wasn't there a part where there were like several of these Venom-looking things?
I don't remember seeing any ones that look like that, but I remember them being like flying things.
Well, anyway, I thought it was, I kept thinking it was weird. I was like, why do they kind of look like Venom? And then I guess there's a bit about how Blackheart got a hold of like one of the old symbiotes or something.
Oh, you're talking about the X-23.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
where you and I were both going. Well, isn't it supposed to be Venom's? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just didn't my point basically is that like, you know, I could tell basically what the 2 other ones were on the surface.
Yes.
And then the other 2 I couldn't tell because one, like, it was never really distinguished as to why they were the opposites, really. It was just kind of like they're there, and they say things that they're like, okay, this is kind of why I'm their opposite, but they never come out and say why that is. Like, they're just like, these things have happened in your life, but they never really, like, explain those things. Like, I don't understand why Flash's antithesis is, like, a priest that shoots Bible pages, you know?
I don't entirely get that either. I think that there's maybe some religious background about Flash Thompson that we're forgetting or something.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but, like, it was lost on me.
Yeah.
And, like, this is supposed to be, like, you know, this is the new book that Marvel's trying to get new people to jump on. I just don't understand why that was... wasn't explained, you know?
And that's a really good point, because I don't see this doing anything to help people get onto Venom. It felt kind of thrown together to me.
Yeah, me too. I feel that as if this was supposed to be a crossover between all the books. Like that, you know, if they didn't cancel Ghost Rider and X-23, then that would have made sense to me, you know, like they're doing with the other books now. And this would have been like because they announced more crossovers, like between books that they hadn't been doing in a while. They hadn't been doing crossovers like that. And I feel like this would have been the first one, and then they canceled 2 of the books.
And had this just been a crossover in between other ongoings, don't you think they would have made much less of a big deal out of it? Because it's not about Venom. Or it's just not enough about Venom. What was really strange to me about it is that 13 and 14 being Remender are much more Flash Thompson centered.
Yeah, exactly, and it's more of what the book was before this whole thing happened too. It was kind of like, you know, telling the life story of Flash Thompson through the good and the bad, like you know, Peter Parker classic stuff, you know.
And the entire thing was extremely jarring to me.
Yeah.
With the 3 issues between 13 and 14, because I was thinking that it was just, okay, it's going to be a 5-issue event that's in the middle of Venom, and it's going to feel like a cohesive piece. And you're right that a lot of the reason it doesn't feel that way is because it's written by different people and also drawn by different artists. And I found that kind of jarring also.
Yeah.
Especially between the second to last issue and 14. I found it really hard to get back onto the more art after that. I thought that was kind of hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
You read the stuff in between 13, and then when you get to 14, suddenly it's doing all these things to try to help readers get up to speed in case they didn't read the ones in between.
Yeah, I mean, I can see people getting confused with the numbering system. Like, if I didn't read articles online, and this was just coming out at the store, and I was just going. I would have been like, what the hell is this? I found it weird that they took time out of this to focus on other characters that weren't the four and the villains. Like, they had like a whole section of one of the issues dedicated to like Johnny Blaze, and then there was a couple pages when you're in Doctor Strange's head, and then you're in Damien Hellstrom's head, and I was like,
jumping all over the place.
Yeah, I was like, is this necessary? Like, I mean, like, I thought maybe the point of this whole thing was to make Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider again at one point. I was like, maybe that's where they're going to go, because they're focusing on him quite a bit, and then there was even a point, where, you thought that was going to happen, but, I mean, I just didn't understand it,
It was a bizarre experience for me, and I don't want to dog on it too hard because I enjoyed a lot of things about it. I mean, it's not terrible. It's really not terrible, and it's not that it's badly written. It's that it's trying to do kind of too many things at once, and then sometimes I'm not sure if it's doing the things I think it's trying to do.
Yeah.
What was weird about it is that when you look at the cover of 13, it looks like you're going to be looking at a team up of 4 characters.
Mm-hmm.
It never turns into that.
Yeah, I mean, X-23 is doing stuff by yourself for the majority of the thing,
Most of them are disconnected through most of it.
Yeah.
And it's not a story about a bunch of, and I'm not saying it had to be, but like it starts off like you would figure it's a story about a bunch of people that don't get along and then they come together to solve a problem. It certainly feels like that's what it's going to be, especially with the whole, Red Hulk is here to bring Venom in, which I thought was thrown a little bit too hard in our face. It's like, yeah, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
That's why he's here. We have to, every time he has any dialogue with Flash Thompson for the first 3 issues. It's like, okay, now don't forget when we're done with this, I'm bringing you back home, because you went AWOL. Yeah, okay, sorry, we understand. Okay. Yeah. And again, I don't want to give anything away, but by the end, I feel like that's all blown over too quickly after they made such a huge deal out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought the end thing with Flash Thompson, what happened with him at the end was kind of bogus, but
I thought so too. In fact, that's my biggest criticism of it, is that's been building for several issues now.
Mm-hmm.
And there should have been the whole he went AWOL. And he had good reasons for going AWOL, and it was an interesting idea. When he steals Captain America's motorcycle and all that stuff. It was all a really good idea, and then it's handled way too easy at the end of this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think the main problem with this in the context of being the Venom book is there's not really any consequences for Flash Thompson here, and that's what the book was all about before.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just kind of like him fighting things, like he. I don't want to. I was just gonna say a spoiler, but
I almost did too.
I don't know. There's just nothing works out badly for him when he makes a decision, which isn't necessarily how it should be, but it's like every decision he makes, it seems like it works out for him because he's the good guy and he's supposed to win. It's not real.
And as far as the other characters go, especially, X-23 and Ghost Rider, it felt very clear that a lot of the decisions were made because their books were getting canceled. Or at least that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But it seemed like there was a lot of tying up loose ends with characters that I hadn't been reading.
Yeah, I kind of felt that too,
I guess it's my fault for not reading them, but I'm just saying it's in my Venom book,
Yeah. like the whole thing about Ghost Rider's mom in there, I was totally lost on me. I was like, what? I didn't read this book, so I have no idea what this emotional scene is supposed to be. But
now, at the end of the last issue, in the letters pages, they put up a bunch of tweets about what people have been thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was praising it for introducing them to characters they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that I did experience that with X-23. That's a character I've never read before, and I did appreciate knowing something about her because I'd never read her before.
Yeah, same
and I
here.
thought that was handled decently for new readers. I not as much with Ghost Rider. I felt like it was almost too Ghost Rider centered. Because there's no explanation of what Blackheart really is if you don't know Blackheart. Well, there is that he's the son of Mephisto and all that. But I'm just saying that I felt like that wasn't for me. That was for fans of Ghost Rider. But X-23, I felt like they were saying, hey, look, X-23 is kind of interesting. You guys should totally pay attention to her. And that worked for me.
Yeah, same. Like, it definitely worked for me in the fact that I'm kind of interested in the character now. Like, she seems kind of interesting.
Wish she wasn't getting canceled, and I wish I was reading her. I thought she was interesting.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like with those two characters specifically, they're looking for a place to kind of plunk them so they can do things with them, because they have followings but not big enough to support ongoing. So it's like, what do we do? Like X-23's, I think, is in Avengers Academy too as well now. So they found a place to put her there. But like the new Ghost Rider, I don't know where she's gonna go.
With what they'll do with her. Although I would. Oh man, I almost made another spoiler.
Yeah.
This is going to sound really cryptic, but you'll know what I'm talking about. There is a thing that happens toward the end where 3 of them are included in it and she's not. Mm-hmm. I think there's a reason for that.
Why do you think so?
I think it's because maybe they're not planning on doing much with her, or they don't know where she's going to be later on, but they've got a good enough sense of where those other 3 are going to be so they can do things with them.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe that, if they do another team up with these characters specifically because they're trying to ape the whole new Fantastic Four, Walter Simonson thing, like if they put someone else as the Ghost Rider, that could be their out.
I liked the idea of we've sewn these characters together so that in a way that we're going to have to do them again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how much I liked seeing them together to the point where I need that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that makes sense, but I like that I kind of like that it's trying to be sort of important. I mean, that there's a consequence to them for that they're branded now and something's going to have to happen later.
Right, exactly. But we didn't get the payoff in here, so that was like the only thing where it was like, kind of a consequence, but and it wasn't even for Venom specifically, so I was kind of like, yeah.
I also did enjoy the issue that shows all of their what their perfect lives would be like. I think some of them were handled better than others. I really liked Venom's a lot.
Yes, me too.
I thought it was fun, and again, I don't want to give anything away with what they did, but there is a whole bit about they experience like their perfect existence, and I don't think that's giving anything away because I think from the very beginning you can tell that it's not real. Mm-hmm. Like immediately there are characters who look differently in that than they look in actual comics right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is hard to talk about without giving stuff away.
I know.
But anyway,
because I'm thinking of problems I had. I'm like, how can I say that without spoiling it? But
yeah, well, hopefully people don't mind. But anyway,
they complain about spoilers in other videos, and then if you don't spoil things, they complain. It's like you can't keep these people happy.
Well, it's but I understand that. I get it.
Yeah.
When we that's not against anybody.
I was just kidding around.
No, that's funny. When I because sometimes I'll mention something and then people are like, oh man, I was going to read that. No, I don't have to. And I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, well, I don't know. My final verdict on this is it should have been a miniseries. It shouldn't have been in this book, and it should have had one artist all the way through.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, they should have had this all in the can, I think, before it started. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I feel like Remender could have, like, you could see that he was building up to this, like, getting Flash in the book to Vegas and all that stuff. But I feel like he could have went on doing what he was doing before he started laying the foundations for this before, and then waited till this was all in the can. Or something like that. And, I don't know, I would have actually liked to have seen it more as a crossover between the books rather than a miniseries. Because I think it would have been weird to have those books running at the same time. Like Venom going on at the same time, doing something different while this was happening. If you know what I'm saying. Because then we would have gotten some pointless tie-in issue that would have been the throwaway, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I totally agree with you. And what's weird is 13 and 14 play as if the other books in the middle happened in other books.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
The end of 13.2 is or 0.3 is really it builds up this really big cliffhanger thing, and then 14 goes kind of in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
It seemed to me like I was wondering if I missed something.
Yeah, me too.
Actually, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I did miss something. I'm looking at this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a really stupid question. Because was there a 13.4?
Yes, there was.
I missed it.
Oh, did you?
I did. I missed it. And I was so confused because I kept reading everywhere that this was 6 parts. Somehow I never got it. I missed it. I am reviewing a book. I didn't read everything out. I'm really sorry, everybody. I did. And what's funny is, at the beginning, I said 13.1 to .3, and you didn't even call me on it.
Oh, I must have missed that. I don't know.
Okay, well, anyway, I apologize profusely. So, .4 set up the stuff that happens at the beginning of 14, and I missed it. Because suddenly, again, I don't want to give anything away, suddenly somebody looks really different. And I was like, what?
Oh, you missed that thing.
I missed that part.
That must have been really confusing.
It was. I had no idea what was going on. All right. Anyway. Okay. So, take everything I've said with a grain of salt because I didn't read the entire thing. I missed one. I got to go find that.
I think most of the points you made are still valid anyway.
Oh good.
I mean,
because I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I mean, there are some things that are kind of jarring from the last issue, the last point to the 14 issue. So, I mean, I can't really comment on them because, you know, we can't. I don't want to spoil anything, but
don't give away to me. I haven't read it yet. Well, anyway, do you have any final words? I think I've said everything I'd like to say.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much spent too. But
all right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to the Comic Book Vault. Remember that the Comic Book Vault is a vast and wondrous wonderland of comic books where you can both donate things to and buy things from. If you'd like to send anything for us to review on the Comic Book Vault, either me and Dan or me and Vince or me or somebody else, send it to our P.O. Box. It's Geekvolution, P.O. Box 14183, Lenexa, Kansas 66285. And you can also buy stuff from the Comic Book Vault. Go to wearegeeksnotnerds.com, click on the Comic Vault, or you can check us out on eBay. It's on eBay where we sell our stuff, and that's Captain Logan 1989 is the username there. Got tons and tons of awesome stuff on, and I've actually got a whole huge new shipment of stuff coming in this week, and I'm going to start putting that stuff up soon, and you don't want to miss it. There's some amazing Marvel ones that are going to come up pretty soon, so check it out. It's awesome. Dan, thanks a lot for being with me, man.
Oh, no problem, and I might just buy some of those Marvel books if they're as cool as you say, so. I
thought you were going to say if the prices are right.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I got some great stuff coming, so check it out.
Awesome.
And Dan, hopefully you can come back and do this again soon.
I hope so. This was fun.
I love having somebody to talk to.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's just talking to myself. It gets boring sometimes, you know? I mean.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't put out any content in 2 weeks, so apparently it does.
Well, thanks again for listening. Dan, get better.
Oh, thank you. I hope I do too.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.